Welcome everybody to the Junk Removal Authority studio. Appreciate everybody for watching. A couple days ago we announced that we're going to be going kind of throughout the country and meeting with junk removal businesses and placing them on our YouTube channel, where it just so happens Matt Beasley, all the way from Hawaii, was actually in the area. So he actually came into the studio and we're going to kind of have a conversation and let him tell you about his business. Matt, you doing good today?
I'm doing well, man.
So Hawaii must be a hell of a place to have a junk removal company.
Yeah, man. It's awesome. There's actually a lot of junk there. You wouldn't think, but people tend to hang on to a lot of their stuff. And so I've seen some of the biggest jobs I've done there.
So what now? Did you used to run a business in North Carolina too, right?
South Carolina. I was in like the Greenville area, and I had a junk removal business called the Finishing Touch of South Carolina.
Okay.
And so that was kind of how I got my start in junk removal. I was doing several other things: window cleaning, pressure washing, and I started using thumbtack actually. And I saw that there was a junk removal option on there, so I turned it on. And I had a little 87 Toyota long bed pickup, and I went to this job and I got like $75 for a truckload, and it was like the light came on.
Yeah.
Even though I knew, other people were doing this, but I was like, wow, this is easy.
You did better than me. My first junk removal job was with I had a Chevy 2500. It was a 2-wheel drive truck. I wrecked it. I was talking on my phone, not at the first job, but the demise of that truck was I was on a cell phone booking a job and I pulled out in front of somebody.
Oh, no.
And got nailed. But anyway, my very first job was we had that long bed pickup truck, and it was $50. I charged $50 for a truckload, and I thought it was the best money in the world. And that person had 4 loads, spent all day out there. It did 4 loads, I think it was, and it was like $200. And I thought I was like, man, I'm going to get rich off of this.
I know, man.
So, and then, we figured out you could charge a lot more at that point.
Exactly.
What's the difference between operating in Greenville, South Carolina, and you're not, which island in Hawaii are you on?
We're on Oahu, so it'd be considered the main island. It's where Honolulu's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what tell us about the differences between those two areas as far as running a junk removal business.
On an island, things can only get there and get off of there by boat or plane, and so I would say that that is what is interesting, is getting rid of my stuff. When I first started doing it, I was taking it, I think I've heard you say this, to like a transfer station, because it was the only place I knew that I could get rid of trash as a resident there. And so I started there, and then I started to just research where are other things, because like if I rented a truck and I had a big load, they wouldn't take it there at the transfer station. So where else could I go? And so in South Carolina, there was like 2 places I would go. I could dump, pretty much anything at this one place that I went. I would just pull in, weigh, and then dump and come back out, and they'd send me a bill.
Appliances,
and so easy.
refrigerators,
yeah,
dead bodies,
anything. And then there was a place I took my scrap.
Yeah.
And here or on the island, like when I first started, it was like I would have to go all the way across the island to take like construction debris, my metal, everything, and I didn't realize that there was a place a lot closer. But over time, I've found one place I can take construction material. There's one place I take burnable stuff, because all of the burnable like plastics, paper, trash.
Like an incinerator or something?
Yeah, they incinerate it, and 10% of the island's power comes from that. And so there's like 3 places that I go now. I take my scrap up at a place, which it's not really worth. They give you half a cent a pound for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so you're not looking to get money, you're just looking to get rid of it for free.
Not pay disposal.
Yeah, pay a disposal fee. So you got your scrap, you got your burnable, and then your construction debris.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell what kind of rig are you guys using?
So I've got a F450 with a 12-foot bed, 12 by 8, and then I built 4-foot sides on it. And so I actually just recently got that. Before that, I was renting box trucks, and it's actually not a dump, but I've tried. I want to put a dump on it. but not there yet.
Yeah, those dumps. If you find an old flatbed, you can put almost state body sides on the things, or somebody can install a flatbed onto that chassis.
Right.
That's a 7.3 liter, right?
Yeah,
As you said
yeah.
that. So I mean that. How many miles?
It's got 205,000.
Yeah. So how'd you wind up getting it? Is there a story on that?
I mean, I researched, and I'm kind of a Ford guy. Like I've built this business in a F-150, and it's just been a great truck. I've had that thing piled high before with straps, and and just done my research, talking to people, and they're like, the 7.3 is what you want, and I'm just looking. There's a couple of guys that they fabricate trucks and stuff out there, and I had one call me one day. He's like, dude, I think this is your truck. He's like, I know that the guy will sell it for $4,500.
Yeah.
And I ran a Carfax on it. Had like 3 owners. There was no major anything, and so I went to the guy, looked at it, and this guy had like painted it, taken care of, it was pretty good shape. It was like an old pallet truck.
Wow.
And I had 45 cash in my pocket, and I said, I'll give you 45 for it. And he's like, you kind of wheeled and dealed for a minute. I just stuck to it, and he gave it to me. But the kicker was it had $5,000 back tax on it. So I had to do that too.
Yeah.
But from knowing kind of the truck I was getting, I was okay with paying 10 after I built my walls.
I mean, at 200,000 miles, 7.3 liter Ford. What do you think that's normally? Probably a $15,000 or $20,000 truck normally, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. It depends, cause on the island things go way higher because they're supply and demand. So.
Well, and those 7.3s was such a desirable engine.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people look for them, but most of them have like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles. So
yeah.
I think you got a pretty good deal on that thing.
I feel good about it. Yeah. I mean, I've made the money to pay it off already.
So, and you go into as much or as little detail on this as you want, but I mean, how many jobs are you typically doing? Kind of how busy are you?
Yeah. I'll probably get on an average week probably 6-7 jobs, but I'm only spending $300 on AdWords.
Yeah,
that's all I'm doing, and then it's word of mouth. I'm actually a licensed realtor too, and I work for a property management company.
Okay, cool.
So I'm connected in the real estate world, so that's where a lot of the word of mouth comes from. But obviously I've got plans to just grow, so I'm going to start spending more on advertising. Obviously I want to get this thing going, but I'll
tattle, whatever word is, a little bit on you though. Shane said you were showing at a different island with your Google ads.
Right, and I think that's the beauty of going with someone like Junk Removal Authority that knows I don't know what I'm doing on ads. I'm just a guy just trying to get started and doing what I can with the budget I got. But obviously I have hopes to spend a lot more in advertising, and when I get ready I would definitely go with somebody that knows what they're doing. So Matt is not working with us right now. We've been talking a lot. We've given him some advice and just kind of conversed several times over the past year or so, really. So what do you think, where you're at now, kind of what's your next step to grow, or where do you want to get it to eventually? What do you want your junk removal company to look like 3-4 years from now? I mean, I think anybody that's in the business can relate to it. You just like it. You see the opportunity there, and I see the opportunity on the island, and I like working for myself. There's a lot of benefits that come with that, but I would like for this to be what supports my family full time. So obviously I want to build the business up into a successful. To be honest, I think of wearing so many hats right now, I don't have a specific vision as to where I'm going, but I'm in the process of trying to put together a business plan. And so I would say, the sky's the limit. I would like to build it. Obviously I look up to guys like you and these other guys that we have on these forums that have been so good for me to be a part of. I want to get as big as it'll permit me on an island.
So I guess I will make a suggestion on that. One of the things that helps me a lot is especially when you go on vacation,
Yeah.
take a little time and just kind of envision exactly what you want your company to look like and what you want going on
Yeah.
at a certain period of time out, and just work towards that, because
Right.
that's been big to me. That's something I always do. I mean, probably once a year I sit in here and I say, all right, where's my vision last year? Have I gotten closer to it?
Yeah.
You know, am I on the right path? And then what's next?
Right.
And it seems like if you sit there and you just imagine it occurring, that it eventually does.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But on your junk removal business end of things, I believe you guys do some repurposing of
Yeah.
items and everything. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you refurbishing stuff and all yourself, or just turning around and donating and recycling and selling it?
You know, so being on an island, a lot of times, a lot of the donation places I've been turned away from,
Yeah.
because they don't have room to put the stuff. I actually, the last job I did before I came out here, I did a storage room. He had 2 storage containers at this place of business, and literally a whole entire truckload. It was like over 3,000 pounds of DVDs. I did 2 of those, and every box was filled with DVDs. So the first one I took and I dumped it, and my dump fees were like $200.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the second one, I was like, because I was in that mindset, like I'd been turned away so many times, so I made some calls, and I went to the Goodwill donation center or whatever, like the big one, their warehouse where they like take a lot of their stuff, and they said that they would take it, and so they took the whole truckload of DVDs, and I'd never heard of any of the DVDs and stuff, so I didn't think that they would, but I'm thankful, you know. So I'm
$200 savings.
Yeah, I'm learning. But man, I've ran across so much stuff, and a buddy of mine, he started being like, "You're throwing this stuff away, man. You're crazy." But my mindset, it's like my garage can only hold so much, and I've got to go on down the road, because my job is to empty my truck and go fill it up again,
right.
and so I don't have anywhere to put the stuff. And I mean, one of the things I found recently that's amazing was a Traeger smoker, a $700 smoker. Wasn't anything wrong with it. I'm like telling the guy helping me, like, keep a straight face, just put this thing on the truck. And I mean, we've been smoking with it. It's amazing. Plugged it in, works fine.
Wow.
And so it's kind of like the light bulbs going off. Me and my friend, it's like, man, we got to start, you know, selling this stuff. So he's kind of helping me with that. And man, we've made literally thousands of dollars repurposing things. And so we don't do a lot of like refurbishing it and stuff. We just see the value in what's already there, and we sell it at a discount, and it moves. Because again, you're on an island, so people are looking for things, because it's harder to get stuff there and it's expensive.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is you guys do have very much a captive audience with that kind of stuff. Around here, we kind of have the mindset, and some junk removal companies are selling stuff a lot more than we do, but we just move it on just to get to the next job, because we do so much volume. But in Hawaii, it could be a great opportunity to really repurpose and resell stuff, have a little thrift store.
Yeah, I know.
So one of the things that when we circling back kind of the start of our conversation, is you mentioned you got out and you started talking to people, and you figured out where to take stuff. Because did you initially do some internet research to figure out where to take stuff, or? Yeah,
there's a website there. It's called Apala. That's like the Hawaiian word for, I think it's trash.
Yeah.
And so apala.org, and you can go on there and you can find different places, like the convenience centers to go to, where there's a landfill, all of those things. But it was kind of getting in with the locals that really, because there was a place that I found that's called Island Demo, that's in the middle of the island.
Yep.
So it's convenient, and also something about the places, like I couldn't dump until like 2 o'clock on that other side of the island. So it's like you pick something up in the morning, you got to wait till 2 to dump it. You can't get it out. But this one place I go to, you know, whenever I want.
Yeah.
And so, but that came just through, you know, just meeting people and talking to people, and somebody had said, like, have you ever heard of this place or whatever, and I went over there. And so that's not recognized by like the city or whatever that made the website.
Yeah.
And so it was like finding this place was such a blessing to me. Yeah.
So would you say if somebody's looking to start a junk removal business, one of the best things they can do is just get out and start talking to people that are involved in like the waste industry or whatever, and getting some good information from them?
Absolutely, man. I mean, to me, wisdom is like is precious.
Yeah.
And you got to humble yourself, and you got to go to people that know, and you got to ask questions. And so that's how I do everything in my life. And so before I do anything, I'm going to try to research it and look for people that know more than me about whatever it is that I'm looking for. And so I've done a lot of work and calling and getting online and looking for things and researching things, because if I can find out ahead of time before I need the information, or before I, make a mistake because I didn't know what I was doing, then it's going to be very beneficial to me.
So do you have any employees?
I don't have any employees. I 1099 people. Got kind of a group of friends there that we all have businesses, LLCs, and we kind of all help each other when we need it, because any of us have employees. And so,
cool.
He's got a slow day, he's helping me, and we just schedule it. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, but definitely looking to the future. I'm going to have to hire someone to help me, because there's times that I need help and I don't have it, and I got to turn away a job, because it's a mattress. You don't be the guy carrying the mattress down the steps by yourself, knock their lamp over on the way out or whatever. But
it's still a unique setup that I've never really heard a whole lot of. I mean, I've heard of people getting friends, and I got friends to help me when I first started, but actually you have individual business owners, I imagine they have a bit more flexibility than your typical.
Yeah, and they're not in the junk removal business too, so it's not like I'm working with my brother-in-law's a painter. I have another friend that's got a cleaning business, and they're all we can kind of work together. When somebody, I'll clean out a house that just sold, and then they need a painter, and so I can refer them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
Does that work? Do you guys get a lot of cross-referral stuff?
Tons, man, tons. And because there's something about like Hawaii, I'm from North Carolina. That's how I got connected with Lee. I just knew he was here from the internet, and so I just took the opportunity to come up here and meet him. But in Hawaii, the culture is very like centered around family and trusting people. So it's like if you go in there and do a good job, it's like there's like loyalty, man. They're going to call you. I've got people that I've cleaned their windows once upon a time, and they call me for everything. Wow. Do you know somebody that can do this? You know somebody that can do that? And so like that's why I see the opportunity there, just for expansion, because once you earn somebody's trust there, it's like you got a lifelong customer. And so a lot of referrals that way.
So you've got you're married, you've got kids, is that right?
Yeah, I'm married for, we're coming up on, or we just celebrated 6 years on the 22nd, and then I've got a 1-year-old boy and a 4-year-old boy.
And then your wife doesn't work, is that right?
Yeah, she's at home with the kids, and
she works.
She works way harder than me, man. Holy cow! Yeah. But yeah, she's there with the kids.
So your junk removal business is supporting your entire family right now.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, man.
That's
awesome. It's been amazing to see how it's held us. I mean, we have a very nice place, and it'd be a lot easier if I was somewhere else. But like I was saying, my rent's over $2,000 a month. But but I mean, we are very provided for. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, though I started a junk removal business with a pickup truck and trailer, it was an F-150. Well, the first one I had was the one I wrecked, was that Chevy 2500.
Yeah.
And then I spent $4,500 on an F-150. You got $4,500 for an F-450. I spent $4,500 on an F-150.
Yeah.
And we had a 6x12 trailer with 3-foot sides. Spent $1,575 on it. We spent 2 weeks to make the decision to spend the $1,575. We had this thing customized, and we thought we were just the hottest thing ever when this trailer was delivered. And went out and got started and made a good business out of it. But I didn't really have the pressure of anybody relying on me, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I was dating who's now my wife.
Yeah.
Austin's now my wife, but we had no kids. I mean, she was still living with her parents. So there was no pressure at all.
Right.
What's the pressure? Kind of talk about it. Do you feel pressure being in business, because maybe you don't feel like you have quite as much security as a typical job, which is probably just false security. But talk a little bit about the pressure And how's that affecting you taking the next step, which is hiring people and starting to market more?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, yeah, there's absolutely pressure. I mean, I think we all can kind of feel pressure from time to time wherever we're at and building a business, or even if you're just working for someone. But yeah, I do feel pressure, but I can't explain it. It's like the friction and the pressure is like what pushes me on. It's like I gotta go out and do this, and I've gotta build this business because this is what's providing for my family. And so, not gonna lie, man, there's days I come home and I'm in tears. Like I'm just like, I don't know how this is gonna work out. And then the phone rings and I land a $5,000 job or something, you know. And
That's a hell of a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, man, because you're just like, man, why? Like God's looking after me, man. Why am I worried about this? But you know, I just think it comes with the territory. Like you're gonna have those times where you feel that. But so to answer your question, it's like moving forward. Obviously, there's some fear and there's some pressure, feeling like, you know, I don't know if it's wise to spend this money on, you know, trying to expand. There's a lack of experience with getting this insurance, getting that insurance, hiring an employee or whatever. But the pressure is, it's like I can either, there's going to be a pain of staying the same. It's like if I want to like endure the pain of not going where I think that I can go or where I know is possible, it's going to be more painful to stay than to go.
Yeah.
And so I have to lean into the expansion and take risk. I mean, I've heard you say it plenty of times. You hear other business people that have been successful say it. It's like you can't move forward without taking a risk. And you know, buying the truck was a risk for me. I felt it, but I almost feel like the pressure is there to keep you from going forward, man. Because you know, the world, you're going to swim upstream to like, you know, excel in the world, and you've got to push against that, and you've got to just keep on going. And so I think, you know, even though there's some challenging choices that I have to make to expand, you know, the pressure to move forward is going to be what pushes me to do it.
So, and I've always, much like you, going out and getting that truck, and I believe you said, did you have to, you said you had to finance part of that truck.
Yeah, I financed it just because I didn't want to spend my cash. I wanted to keep my cash. Yeah.
So I've often found that you got to be really careful not to overextend yourself at all. But the bed, I don't want to go in, and I don't want to get going. Once you get in and get going, you get in the swing of things, and things go great. You know, you're having a good time. But part of that is if it was just me, and we didn't have a payroll that I was paying today,
you could stay in bed.
I could have stayed in bed and not gotten that production done. But the fact is, all right, you know, today, especially today's payroll day. So we've got with Junk Dogs, we got a $45,000 payroll, and then everybody with JRA, it's got to get paid too. So you've got to come in here and advance this thing, and that's that pressure. Going out, I talk about getting a brand new truck. And one of the reasons I like people getting a brand new truck is because, one, you've got that reliability because downtime kills you.
Yeah.
But the second thing is most people aren't going to spend $65,000 in cash. They're going to finance it. Right. So then all of a sudden they have an $800-900 a month payment. Well, you better start spinning your wheel. You know, getting with it if you're going to make that payment every month.
Exactly, man.
So
because like you're starting the month in the red. You got you got what you're paying on your advertising. You got your car payment or your vehicle payment.
Yeah. And you know, that's counter to what a lot of people would tell you. You know, a lot of people's parents or grandparents or even other business mentors. You got like, you know, Dave Ramsey.
Oh yeah, and
I like Dave.
I follow a lot of his principles, but he's like no debt, and it's like, dude, like.
Yeah, it hampers you some.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's possible, but it definitely slows your growth.
Right.
I agree with probably 85% of what Dave Ramsey says.
Me too.
And you know, but
because it's wisdom. It's tested and tried wisdom. Yeah. You apply it to your life over time, you're going to see benefits from it.
So, what's next? All right, to get you to get you to take that next step, which is probably hiring an employee.
Yeah.
What do you think would assist you with doing that? Would it be, I mean, save up a certain amount of money? You know, how would you go about so you have like a little nest egg?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna, number one, when I go back, I have plans to raise my my advertising budget, and so I think, you know, just from what the fruit I've seen from it. I don't know if it's because I'm there or what. I don't know the factors of other places in the United States, but if I double my budget, I honestly think I'll double my business there. So as like I start making more money, I think it'll kind of like make me more comfortable with moving forward. But I mean, the move forward is an inevitable, so I've got to do it. And so I just think it's more about, I don't know that I would change anything before I move forward. I think that as I grow organically, as I get a little bit bigger, I've got to make the move because I have to have someone that I can depend on.
Right.
I can't depend on my friend that I'm 1099ing because he might have another job and I want him to build his business. He's in business to make money, so if he gets more job, I can't be like, oh, I can't believe like you're not working for me. So I want to hire someone so that I've got somebody there, and like you said, the risk is basically taking on that like, hey, I'm going to have to pay them this every month, whether it's coming in or not. And so that pushes you to go out there and get the business. And so I hope that answers your question.
No, that does. One thing we did talk about before is partnering with somebody that kind of crossed your mind.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I think all of us has probably watched like a Shark Tank and so that's kind of more what I was thinking of, is just kind of a financial partner, because I don't have like a knot of cash that I could, just have to make it more comfortable moving forward. So I have thought about partnering with someone that knows more about business than I do, that may see something in me that they would want to invest in. And so not necessarily making someone like a 50-50 partner where they're going to do 50% of the work and I'm going to do 50% of the work, but more just like an investor that can give me wisdom and in time see something in me and see something in the business that is going to reap benefits for them in the future. Yeah.
So in your case, I mean, I think like if somebody made a $50,000 investment into you, that'd probably make a pretty big difference in your business.
Yeah, where I'm at right now, if somebody was to put that on the table, I would have to, I'd have to think and pray long about that and make a decision, because that could be, that's a truck, that's a new truck right there, or that's money to be able to pay help, and so that could definitely move us forward.
Yeah, you could use it, and you're going to get people hired, and then use it to advertise. And what would happen is you'd use it to advertise. The work would come in, and the work would actually be what would pay for that second vehicle.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't want to give up the entire, 25% of the business or something like that. Is probably as much as you'd want to.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do 50. Yeah.
So, well, Matt, how can people can they check your website out? You've got a website.
Yeah. So the name of the business is Aloha Junkman, and we're on Oahu, Hawaii. You can go to www.alohajunkman.com and you can check us out there. It's just a landing page. That's on my ads. That's where I send people. Yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you got any last words of advice or words of wisdom? You've been doing this thing for a little while. You got anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, man. I just encourage you guys that you're capable of way more than you think. And just to keep on going out there, working hard. I think that there's some principles in life like hard work and treating people right. All of these things that will definitely over time, as you continue to do those, you're going to reap the benefits of them. And just in the junk removal world, like I think there's a big need for it all over the United States. And also, we're doing people a service. Like we're cleaning up their properties.
100%.
We're cleaning up their businesses, and I have seen just the fruit of that. I do a lot of clean outs when people pass away and families are having a hard time. They want to move that. They want to sell that house or whatever. And I've just seen the benefit of how we really help people in their life. And I think a lot of times like people can just think you're just a trash man, but you're not. You're doing people a service, and it's very needed. There always is going to be trash, and there's always going to be junk, and whether you're repurposing it or you're just getting it out of people's yards and houses and lives, I think it's a powerful thing. And so that's where I get a lot of like the joy from what I do, is that, you know, we're really helping people.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate you coming in today and being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
And I'm going to look forward to working with you here in the upcoming years. Hopefully.
Amen.
So, all right. Thanks.
Yeah.